Hi, and welcome to our LA Times live video web chat with Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke. Welcome, Emilia.
Hi, thank you very much. Thanks.
Emilia was just received her first Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series for Game of Thrones. And the big question, I think, is the ceremony is September 22nd, and I believe you return to filming in September. So, are you going to get to go to the ceremony?
Yes, I think that they've just managed to work out a way for that to happen. Yeah, I think that I will be there.
Will you be wearing the blonde wig to the ceremony, or will you go with your natural hair?
Well, the wig doesn't really travel, so I think I'll probably be wearing my natural brown hair.
Uh, you were at just at Comic-Con, and your former co-star slash husband, Jason Momoa, surprised you on stage. People still call
Yes.
you Khaleesi to this day. And that relationship had a real impact on the fans. Do you stay in touch with Jason at all?
I do. Yeah, I do. I do. I'm in Los Angeles at the moment, and I've just literally just been visiting him. Yes, Jason is. He's a forever friend. He's yeah.
Do you, the scope of your story over the past three seasons has gotten progressively bigger and bigger and bigger. Do you see that reflected on, when you're on set, or is that all done, is a lot of it done in green screen and post?
Yeah, there's a fair amount of it that happens in green screen and in post. But like season three, episode four, for example, was just as epic to film as hopefully it was to watch. So yeah, definitely it's felt that the show has really kind of I've felt the momentum that it's kind of been getting, and kind of the confidence of the writing and the confidence of everyone involved. Really, this has been growing.
At the end, the final scene of season three, Daenerys is outside the gates of the city, and the people come out and they surround her and they embrace her and they really accept her as a leader. When you go to fan events, three seasons in, is that kind of your experience as an actress when you encounter the fans?
The fans are always amazing. It's the Game of Thrones. We have the best. Game of Thrones has the best fans. It's just they always treat us amazingly and make us feel like rock stars, and it's a privilege. It really is.
Mhm. One of the most popular costumes that I saw at Comic-Con was Daenerys. Do you have any advice to people maybe at Halloween time how to take a pretty good Daenerys costume and make it a great Daenerys costume?
Take it off. No. No. Danny is more than just the naked scenes. Uh, I'm not really too sure. Just a toy dragon will definitely help take that costume from being just another costume to being a Game of Thrones costume.
Let me go to some of our reader questions. We have a ton of them. Fushi Freak wants to know why do you have only one tweet on your Twitter account?
Oh, goodness me. I'm not too sure. I'm not really sure. I would be. I'm worried. Maybe I wouldn't be as eloquent as I should be for Twitter.
And David Duarte wants to know how hard was it to learn the different languages that you speak on the show?
It was the Dothraki was the was actually much harder to learn than Valyrian. It kind of I remember the first couple of days filming in Dothraki, and I was petrified and was convinced that I would not do it justice, and it was very difficult having the kind of the two brains working simultaneously of remembering the language and also being in the character. And I don't know whether it's just me taking my acting very seriously, but Valerian was a lot easier because it's obviously Daenerys' mother tongue, so that's helpful. But yeah, it kind of rolls off the tongue a little easier, and was season three was definitely a kind of it's remarkable how quickly it felt normal to kind of to go through the process of learning a pretend language.
Have you picked up any phrases in either language that you can roll off to fans when you meet them on the street and they greet you in Dothraki?
Well, the Athjan Hakar is the word that I got wrong in season 3. So that's one that kind of sticks in my mind because I got it wrong. That the scene was Daenerys getting it wrong in season 1 as well. And then Dracarys for Valyrian. It has to be the golden word.
Do you ever have people coming up to you speaking Dothraki or Valyrian?
No, that hasn't happened actually. That hasn't happened. I would be blown away and incredibly impressed if that did happen. So the
Uh,
gauntlet has been thrown. You should.
what you admit to. One of your first roles was a sci-fi original movie called Triassic Attack, which did not get as much attention as Sharknado. But I wondered, the premise of the movie is people fighting against CGI dinosaur bones. Did that experience come up at all in learning how to interact with CGI dragons?
Not really, no, because in the sci-fi film, I was running desperately away from them, and in this, I'm kind of mothering them. So it's a slightly different dynamic that I'm working with.
Now, with the last season 4 would be the second half of the third book in the series, and there are 2 more books after that. It puts you as an actor in kind of an unusual position in that people know what's coming for your actor far ahead of uh, what scenes you film. Do you ever have fans coming up to you telling you they're really excited to see your character do this 3 years from now?
No, I mean, I think that overall Game of Thrones fans are incredibly, what's the word? Wonderful at kind of keeping. It's, I don't know. You sort of. It's like they read the books and then test the waters to see who knows what, and no one ever wants to spoil anything for anyone, which is really respectful and wonderful. And you're sort of. If I'm meeting a fan, it's normally in a public place, normally Comic-Con. So I feel like they don't want to kind of spoil it for anyone else. But no. So that hasn't happened quite yet.
Uh-huh. Reader Jan Cernick asks, "Hello, Emilio. What was the moment for you when you realized that the show was huge, both critically and fan-wise?"
Oh my goodness. I'm not really too sure. It's kind of just been a steady, gorgeous realization, really. I remember when my brother told me that The Simpsons had used Game of Thrones as an opening. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And yeah, to sort of to be part of a kind of a popular culture um, reference like that is pretty amazing. And that was fairly recently, so it's still sinking in.
Speaking of The Simpsons, did you record a voice for Futurama?
Yes, I did. Episode called Stench and Stenchability.
And are you playing yourself or are you playing a character?
I'm playing a character. I'm playing a lowly flower shop girl who falls for Dr. Zoidberg.
Uh-huh. And that episode airs next month?
I'm not too sure. I think so. It's the new season, so I think so.
Yeah, Sarah Wolf asks, can you explain a little bit about your acting process, how you warm up and get into character? And has it changed at all with how your character has changed over the course of the show?
Well, the first and foremost starts with the books with me. It really starts with the books and kind of reading the books and getting to grips with Danny's perspective within the books, and then for whatever book is relevant for the season we're filming, and then the scripts, and kind of allowing my knowledge of the beautiful writing of George R. R. Martin to kind of educate me within the scripts that David and Dan have so gorgeously written. And it's kind of a continual sort of I like to kind of have as much time to prepare as possible, and I don't know, as the seasons have gone on, it's been kind of growing with Daenerys. So season one I was a lot more trepidatious. There was a lot more to kind of to learn, and then as each season builds, it's kind of just adding more things on what's already there, and kind of, and it's also really good to look back and to kind of to look back through book one and see where she's come from, and finding more about the kind of the history of her family and having that educated as well, and reminded of what she's gone through to get to where she is now, and then I just turn and look at Ian Glenn, and it kind of all falls into place.
Have you started to read the scripts for season 4 yet?
Yes, I have. I have read them.
So are you preparing right now since you've got some time?
Let's try second. I am. Yeah, I am. I am. It's kind of reading them as many times as possible, really, and as much as I can to kind of. Um, it's all. I find that with acting, it's all about the material, and it's just if you the, all of the answers can be found in the scripts. So if you just keep reading and keep reading, more things will jump out at you, and more clues will kind of find their way into your brain, and more sort of connections are made, and David and Dan write so incredibly that it's just a joy to it's just a joy to read them.
About how many times do you read the full script as opposed to just your scenes or part?
Well, I can't help it. I definitely read the full script a couple of times because, like, reading Tyrion's lines and everything that happens with Kit and everyone, absolutely everyone. It's just it's addictive. It's kind of it's all you always get. This is going to sound ridiculous, but you always, when you sort of see the email come through with the first scripts, you always get that like rush of kind of butterflies. So you're like, here we go. What's it
Oh,
going to be?
so you recently made your Broadway debut in Breakfast at Tiffany's. How was that experience for you?
Yes. It was amazing, absolutely wonderful. Being in New York for that long was just incredible, and I always kind of say it's like going back to drama school, getting to do a play, because you get to try something new every night. And I get to act every day. It's just kind of that's a bit of a gift getting to do that. And I got to work with an incredible ensemble and just tread the boards of Broadway is kind of like a lifelong dream. So it's been wonderful getting to do it.
Are you looking to get back on stage anytime soon in your next break from the show?
I'd like to turn more to film, but I would like to continue to come back into doing plays. Maybe the West End next if they'll have them.
Um, Mike Boardman asks, what interactions do you have with actors who are on different story arcs?
Um, well, basically the season one people kind of, because we all sort of started bright-eyed and bushy-tailed together. A lot of my close friends are those people who I sort of started with the season one, and Rose Leslie is my best friend literally, and we only met through Game of Thrones. We're having done press events or whatever, and now we're inseparable. So there's you sometimes find yourself in a bar in London, and you'll kind of turn around and go, oh, we're in a show together. Lovely to meet you.
I
So
know
so it's kind of social.
a lot of actors, talk about their characters and they say, at the end of the day of filming, they go home, they leave the character on the set. But Daenerys is a character that so many people love and they really embrace and they're inspired by her. Are you ever tempted to bring Daenerys home with you?
Sorry. Oh, sorry, my this computer's just kind of frozen.
Sure. Can you hear me now?
Um, yes.
Yes? I'll keep talking.
Uh,
It freezes up.
yes, you keep talking. You keep talking.
Okay, so you can hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay. What I was asking was, a lot of times actors like to, they'll leave their character on the set. But Daenerys is such a beloved character and an inspirational character to so many people. I just wondered if you were ever tempted to bring some of her aspects of her personality home with you.
Well, the kind of the kick-ass nature is quite a comfortable thing to put on when you're filming, and so just generally her strength, I think, is something that is quite is hopefully something that we've kind of grown together with. So it's that side of her, I think, that I admire in her, and that I would like more of within myself.
Yeah, so related to that, Lily asks, playing a woman as brave and determined as Dany should be very encouraging for every woman who watches the show. What have you learned from Dany over these 3 seasons of Game of Thrones that you actually, and the end of the question is cut off for me, but what have you learned from Dany over the last 3 seasons?
I think learning to trust yourself, I think, is one of the biggest things that I've learned from Dani. To kind of trust that you have the answers, and that yeah, to find your own inner strength, I think, and yeah, and embrace being a woman, I suppose.
Garo Tinhos asks, do you have any projects planned for the near future?
There's some films in the pipeline. Yep.
That's all you can say at this point?
Yeah. Yes.
So you go back in September, and then how long will you be filming the fourth season?
Well, technically, filming has started in June, and that runs through until November, end of November. So I'll be kind of September, October time.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, that's pretty much my filming.
And will you be leading a cast of thousands? Extras, thousands of extras?
Possibly, possibly.
Um,
I don't want to give too much away.
right. Mother of Dragons asks, what's your favorite season yet?
What's my favorite?
Season of the series.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Mother of Dragons asks, what's your favorite season of the series so far?
Three. Three or one, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. Although having just read season four, it could end up being four.
Was there a particular moment in each of those 2 seasons that stick out for you as the moment that really makes it for you in those 2 seasons?
Um, well, I mean, there are so many. There are so many. I think that the execution of Ned Stark is one that will stay burned into my mind forever. I think that the Red Wedding from 3 is obviously epic. I think that the stuff I get to do in episode 4 of season 3, um, there's there's so many. The scene between Ygritte and Jon from 3, where she's kind of filling him with arrows. Um, yeah, many more, many more.
Are there any scenes I'm asking specifically about scenes that you film where on the set it seems like nothing special or just another scene, and then when you see it televised with the music and the visual effects and everything put together, it really just knocks your socks off?
It's funny because there's so much detail in Game of Thrones in how we film it. Filming each scene feels incredibly real and feels incredibly. It's very rare that you'll find a scene that kind of didn't really feel like a very big deal to film, and then when you see the final effect, it kind of looks really epic. there's just so much detail in the art direction, in the costume, in the lighting, and everything. So it's normally as amazing to film as it is to watch.
A reader asks, Alyssa Ambrosia Bird, she asks if you will do another theater production, but she also wants to know what would be your role or show of choice?
For theatre,
Yes.
oh, I would probably say a Clifford Odets play or Arthur Miller. I like my American naturalism plays. Or some Ibsen or Chekhov, David Russia. Many. There are a few.
When George R.R. Martin was at Comic-Con with you and the cast, when you're talking to him, does he ever give you hints about what he sees for Daenerys' future?
No, he really doesn't give much away. He's really good about kind of yeah, not giving the game away, as it were. I've tried.
Do you ask him point blank, or do you try to sort of ease it out of him, or how do you go about that?
Yeah, I kind of try and ease it out of him. Same with David and Dan, because I know that they are very clear on how it will all pan out, and it doesn't matter what you ask. They remain quite tight-lipped about it, which is good. It's definitely good. It keeps the butterflies coming every time you read a new season.
Right. Well, when you see that they've diverted a little bit from the books, does that ever make you question Daenerys's future? She could have her own red wedding, perhaps.
Um, I hope not. um, no, I don't think it does really, because I think that no matter how much David and Dan stray from the exact moments within the books, the essence is exactly the same as George R. R. Martin has written, and his intentions are the same as David and Dan. So I think they're very much in line with each other. It's just that thing that's just kind of the difficulty of taking something from a novel and putting it on the screen, really.
Mhm. So a number of readers have asked us if you had pet dragons, what would you name them?
Drogo.
Great. Well, Amelia, thank you very much for your time.
Drogo, David, and Dan.
Excellent. Uh, Thank you for participating.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Have a good day.